Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. So one of the subscribers, they sent me this link from the nzherald.co.nz. So I'll leave the article in the description box for you guys. And if you want to, you can click on it, read it, and come to your own surmise. But Joseph Parker says here, Joseph Parker mocks Hughie Fury's training regimen. All right. And just reading his article, Parker was saying, let me just read one of his quotes. He was talking about these old school methods that are being used by Fury should stay in the old school. Yeah, he says, this is what he said. He says, I feel like we're in a different era. He can go back to old school, but I think old school should remain in old school, Parker said. This is a new generation. It's time to try new things, new training techniques. I mean, it's good that he believes in his work and what they're doing, smashing wood with an axe, but he might get so used to that motion, he might start doing that in the ring. All right, and he also goes on to say that his training camp with Kevin Berry is more scientific and it's more appropriate for what he's trying to do and for today's era. Now, I do like a lot of the old school methods, man. I'm an old school guy, you know what I mean? So I don't believe in just shitting on, not to say that he was shitting on the old school methods, but I do think the old school methods can be used today, coupled with some of the new things that are going on. You know what I mean? So I'm a believer in no, the old school should remain in the old school. Let's use some of the old school, kind of remix it, and see if we can make it even better. You know what I mean? But there's nothing like old-fashioned push-ups, good sit-ups, good roll work, and just hitting the bag. You know what I mean? Now, I understand the strength and conditioning, and everybody has a strength and conditioning coach, right? Everybody needs a, and looking at some of the old school fighters like a Ray Robinson, or if you go back to the 70s, look at guys like Ken Norton, guys that were in phenomenal shape as far as their physiques. Jack Johnson, I mean, them dudes were in phenomenal shape. But today, there's different science. It has advanced. You can get bigger and stronger, taking legal supplements, and some guys even take illegal stuff. But so I understand science gets better, but just I'm not a big believer in just old school should stay old school. Some of those old school techniques need to be used today. You know what I mean? Back in the days, man, it seemed like guys were more willing to throw 5, 6, 7 punch combinations at a time throughout duration of a fight and go 15, 16, even back in the days when they were going 23, 25 rounds. Whereas today, you know what I mean, guys take breaks to get tired quickly, and I don't know, man. I like some of the old school stuff, but he went on to talk about, you know, Parker and his team posting photos of, you know, doing road work and combat boots and wearing army fatigues and, you know, chopping wood. And I think there was a picture they posted where he took a page out of Rocky where he's like in a meat freezer hitting meat, Hughie Fury was. But, you know, whatever they need, man, whatever they need to boost their confidence, whatever they need to if they want to bring an old school mentality, whatever he needs to get himself prepared, do whatever you need to do. You know, do whatever you need to do. And one thing that Fury does know how to do, he knows how to fight. So I don't think he's going to go in there and have a chopping wood type of technique or anything. It's just to build his core, to build his strength, his shoulders, his forearms, what they've always used chopping wood for, you know what I mean, to build that stamina, you know. So, but Parker, you know, probably just trying to get under Hughie Fury's skin a little bit, man. Let me see what else he says in here. He says, my goal is to knock him out. It's his home ground, and he might get favoritism from the judges. I'm not sure. If it goes 12 rounds, I want to put in a dominant performance. I'm doing my best in camp to throw a lot of punches. See, and that's what I was just talking about. Throw a lot of punches, man. I want to dominate for 12 rounds. If it doesn't go the distance, I want to dominate from the beginning and try to look for a shot where I can knock him out cold. That's the attitude to have. I don't see why he would go in there and try to just use an outboxer approach against somebody like Hughie Fury. That's his game plan. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different when Parker was using that kind of style against a Ruiz, where Ruiz wants to come forward, wants to engage, wants to put his head down and, you know, come forward and just chomp away. I think Parker's going to have to be the bulldog in this fight, be the aggressor, step to Hughie Fury. As I call it, as I always say, the line in the sand, right? The line in the sand is the other guy's, the end of his jab. Step over that line. Get inside that jab. Work his body. You know, I know Fury's trying to build on his strength. I know him and his team said they want to build their strength for this fight. Well, let's test it out. Let's see how strong he is on the inside. Let's throw 5, 6 punches, not just ones and twos, but throw some combinations, work that body. You know, so yeah, man, just wanted to give my opinion about this article. Let me see if there's anything else he said that was interesting that I could talk about. Let's see here. He's just talking about the performance against Kanjanu. He describes it as it was disappointing. And it was disappointing to a lot of fans also. So Parker has that on his mind. He knows that people were looking at that fight and kind of judging him off that fight. But even he knows it, man. I'm glad he's not sitting here saying, "Oh, I thought I fought great." You know, nah, he knew that it was an awkward situation too. You know, you're fighting a guy who you just literally fought over 50 rounds with in preparation for Hughie Fury, and then Fury pulls out because of an injury or whatever it was, and then now you're fighting your sparring partner. That's weird, man. I'm not sure when that has ever happened. Not so much fighting your sparring partner, but literally fighting the guy that you were using as your primary sparring partner. You fight him next. You know what I mean? Like literally next, a month later. So that was kind of weird, but all that's behind us, right? All that's behind us, man. So let's see what happens on fight night here, man. But I'm going to get to more Parker versus Hughie Fury news. This fight's coming up next month, so I'm going to definitely dig into the fight, man. And you guys go to my playlist. Go to my playlist and look up my keys to victory, where I actually use my heavy bag and I gave my breakdown of the fight, of some of the things I think that both these guys can do to win the fight. I know Peter Fury, I know Kevin Berry, they're putting together great game plans for their fighters. But I just want to give you what I think both guys can add, you know what I mean, to win the fight. But yeah, I'm gonna get into this fight, man. Do more videos about this. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm out.